There's a way to make an entrance.
This is my destiny.
It was now a conspiracy of witches.
Download Veely today.
No matter where you are in the world, if you're Australian and things go wrong, there's always one place you can turn: the embassy. Tonight on the show,
it's not an open and shut case. There's lots of holes in what they've done.
shackled to the bone, while his mum and dad plead for mercy.
We're 72 years old. When we die, we don't see our youngest son in prison.
Don't know where, don't know when.
James's missing passport secret,
He's young, he's nice, but there is more to James than meets the eye.
backfires.
You're in a little trouble here because you lied about your passport.
His lungs weren't formed properly. He had to be in the humidity crib for a couple of weeks breathing oxygen.
And baby Aubery. He beat all the odds.
Oh my God, is he even going to make it?
But can Mum get him home to Australia? Early morning, Bangkok. And Trudy's on her way to Hua Hin Hospital to check on the welfare of an Aussie prisoner who says he's in excruciating pain.
He's got some kidney stones, he's got a few other issues. His lawyer's come to kind of plead with us to help him get some medical attention. So we're down here today to make sure he sees the right doctors, gets the right tests, and hopefully that will result in him having his kidney surgery that his lawyers told us is so important to make him comfortable for when he needs to testify for his trial, which is not too far away.
This is Jake. He's been in jail here in Thailand for over a year now, charged with possessing 26 grams of crystal meth. But he says he's innocent and that it's all a big setup. Jake's drug trial begins in 2 weeks. The maximum sentence for drug trafficking in Thailand is death by lethal injection.
Jacob's health is a real concern because he needs to be clear-headed and calm when he testifies. He's facing a really serious case, so he needs to be able to articulate himself well. He won't do that if he's feeling sick.
Right now, all Jake can think about is how much pain he's in. Jake says his kidney stones are a genetic disorder and that he desperately needs surgery.
In the last 10 years, I've passed about 30 stones. The last time I passed one in there, it was about just after 4 in the morning, and it was a writhing agony all night.
Can you feel it coming down?
You can feel it when it leaves your kidney on its way to your bladder, and then after that, it's pretty pain-free.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But,
I was imagining the last bit would be the most painful. Okay.
No, not at all.
Oh, good.
Not
Okay.
at all. After that, I woke up face down in a puddle of urine and blood in the toilet in the cell with 160 odd guys.
A Thai prison's a lonely place to be. Not lonely like there's no one around. Lonely like everyone's around but you still feel isolated.
Jake's Thai wife, Mai, has also come to the hospital to be with him. They met at university in Thailand.
So he speaks Thai?
Jake?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right Thai also.
Oh, okay. To see them there like that, she hadn't touched him for a year. To see her just in tears because she was able to hug him, guilty or innocent, it's sad to see people who are not able to be together.
Mai stood by Jake through thick and thin. And it's that checkered history that's come back to bite him now.
I have had a little bit of a history here in the past, in Thailand. In the past, I cleaned my act up, went back to Australia, came back over here. When I came back, the guys that had been following me around before were a little bit upset that I'd slipped through their fingers before and come and stuck a whole handful of ice in my room.
It's an explosive allegation. Time will tell if it's true or not.
I've got a good couple of lawyers there. They're doing absolutely everything for me that they can. They've got a lot of good evidence, and I'm just hoping that that it all goes my way. Hope.
Hope is a long bow, but it's all he's got right now. Back in Bangkok, Another young Aussie is pinning all of his hopes on getting a new passport.
Naughty James.
James says he lost his old one.
Don't know where, don't know when, but it's gonna hopefully get a new one. Get home ASAP.
Memory loss is an unusual holiday affliction. B's not buying it. Not one bit.
He's young, he's nice, but there is more to James than meets the eye. We check on our system, and we are aware of him.
26-year-old James, a construction worker from Aubery, Sydney, has spent the last month in Phuket kickboxing and getting fit. And his passport's not the only thing that's gone missing.
I lost my credit card, my bank card, and I ran out of the cash that I had. So I can't get money out from Western Union because I don't have a passport.
He's also forgotten to extend his visa.
I think it's 500 baht a day. And I make days over.
B's not backing down.
James. This guy's not telling the truth. He's in a lot of trouble.
At Hua Hin Hospital, Aussie prisoner Jake is in a world of pain. His prison-appointed doctor has refused his request for urgent kidney surgery. The earliest Jake can get medical help is in 4 months' time, after his drug trial.
He's worried because the kidney doctor didn't write any painkiller on his prescription.
No, it's okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good.
Meanwhile, in Bangkok, Jacob's broken-hearted parents are at the embassy hoping for answers.
Yeah.
For each Australian prisoner in Thailand, the whole team at the embassy gets involved in their case. So everyone is pitching in to do something to try and help this guy and his family.
When he goes to court, we'd like him to have a clear head and understanding, as his lawyers would. I mean, he's lost half his body weight since he's been in there.
Yeah.
The diet that he's on doesn't work with the problem that he has, the medical problem.
Yeah.
I think to some extent human rights issues need to be considered.
Yeah.
That's our feelings on it from parents' point of view.
My heart goes out to Jacob's parents. I mean, it must be a living nightmare knowing that your son is locked away in, a prison.
Close to half of all Aussies imprisoned overseas are in jail on drug charges, but the embassy cannot override local laws.
You dote on your children and you do worry about their health and welfare, so, the amount of stress that you guys would be under would be just enormous too, so.
It actually makes me feel a bit sick to imagine myself in Jacob's parents' shoes. Your children are your world. Obviously, you have to face it that they might have done something criminal, but you still love them.
Well, you love your kids. It doesn't matter whether they're 3 years old or 53 years old.
He's our baby.
A parent's love knows no bounds.
I loved him. I'd be able to cuddle him, give him a kiss, and tell him how much I love him. That's all.
We're 72 years old. When we die, we don't see our youngest son in prison.
That's assuming he goes to prison.
If Jacob's found guilty, he could be looking at a long time in jail or, God forbid, facing the death penalty.
Coming up.
He's a naughty boy.
Boxer James's waiting room face-off.
Yeah, how about the Australian Embassy does something to help an Australian when they're fucked up overseas?
It's not often that somebody doesn't know they're pregnant and the next minute they're having a baby.
And baby Aubery's birthplace drama.
This child needs to get back to Australia where it's more first world.
Why won't they give him a passport?
The amount of time that this is taking is a real concern to me because I've got to get back to Aubery.
Bangkok, Thailand, where a charming smile can hide the deepest of secrets.
Yeah, I came for a month to go training in Phuket, and yeah, when the month ran out and I looked for the passport, it wasn't there.
But B knows there is more to this case than meets the eye.
He's still young and kind of cute, but, well, He's a naughty boy.
James's passport is with the police in Phuket because he went out drinking and ride the motorbike. So he got arrested for drink driving.
Naughty boy James has a lot of explaining to do.
He thinks he can get away with this, but he's not going to. James? Hi, James. I'm B. Could you tell me what happened?
I actually don't know.
There goes the memory. Again.
Right, okay.
I caught him red-handed, and I just really feel bad for him, but he needs to learn his lesson. Do you remember speaking to someone from the embassy about your situation?
Yeah.
So it was me.
Yeah.
Actually, your passport is with the police. You're in a little trouble here because you lied about your passport.
Yeah, how about the Australian Embassy does something to help an Australian when they're fucked up overseas?
Pra Chuap Kirikan prison is full of people who've screwed up overseas. Accused ice dealer Jake is facing his darkest hour. His trial begins tomorrow. If found guilty, he could face the death penalty. It's that or spend the best years of his life in jail.
Jacob is a really interesting case because he comes across as more of a kind of an intellectual and a friendly family kind of guy. When he talks to the prison guards, he calls them Arjan, which is like big teacher. Like, he's very, very respectful.
Sister Tracy and niece Skylar have arrived from Queensland to try to lift his spirits. They are doing their best to put on a brave, cheery face.
Hello. Still getting big. How are you, Trace?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, geez, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
I've dropped nearly 30 kilos.
I can see it. I can see it. Be positive tomorrow.
Well, it's a big day because it's finally, the day when they uncover everything.
Here's hoping that's not a Freudian slip.
Well, not they uncover everything, but everything's brought to light.
Wife Mai and Jake's American lawyer Nathan are also here. Nathan's worried Jake's kidney stones will jeopardise his trial. Jake says he's in constant, excruciating pain.
I understand your health has been troubling you a lot.
My kidneys are giving me hell.
Yeah.
I just feel flat and run down.
Yeah.
You can't sleep.
Yeah. Almost all the other drug cases they're working on right now, this is unique. It's not an open and shut case. There's lots of holes in what they've done. We would not feel comfortable moving forward if you're not in a state of mind and health to give testimony.
And I am anxious, but it's a good kind of anxiety. I feel like I'm finally going to have a weight lifted off my shoulder. I'm going to come away at the end of the day tomorrow with a much clearer idea of my future.
We have positive thoughts about Uncle Jake being released tomorrow.
It's good that you're in good spirits.
Will he be found guilty or innocent? In the embassy's waiting room, naughty boy James has just been busted fibbing about his missing passport.
I've been to all ends of the earth to try and get that back, and I can't get it.
He reported it lost, but the truth is, James's passport was confiscated by the Phuket police for drink driving.
The big no-no for James and for everyone, please do not lie. If you need our help, just come clean to us and we will figure the way to help you or to assist you.
I went to the policeman with my bags packed, ready to go to the airport.
Yeah, and what did I say to you?
And he said no, he wouldn't give me my passport. He got angry at me because he had to speak to the embassy so many times.
I'm going to call the police again and ask him what actually he wants to do with you. If I put myself in James' shoes, I can understand why he was so scared when he got arrested by Thai police and being detained at a police station in a cell. Must be really a horrible experience for James.
I went to jail for 9 o'clock in the night till 5 o'clock the next afternoon for that. Paid 3,000 baht to get out, and so I've just been in the last week in limbo, like not knowing what to do, trying to get home. I want to be home.
I mean, I did try to. I called the police 3 times. That's why the police got annoyed.
B has the unenviable task of having to call the police for a 4th time to try to sort out James's drink driving mess.
He went to give the police the court document last week at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's kind of like end of business day. So the police told him to come back the next morning, but he didn't.
To get his passport back, James will have to return to Phuket.
James spoke to the police. He asked you to come back the next morning, but you didn't turn up.
It must be language barrier.
Yeah, I understand. He said the only option is for you to go back to him tomorrow morning.
There's a real chance the coppers will send him straight to immigration detention.
If you committed a crime in Thailand, it doesn't matter if it's small or big. At the end, you will be deported by Thai immigration.
And I speak English at immigration.
Little, but little.
This is what my English is.
Being locked up again with no way of communicating is James's worst fear.
Do you have any Thai friend? Can you go with a Thai person tomorrow to police station again?
I have one Thai friend, but she, her Thai is a little, like, she's
not
Thai.
good.
Yeah, she's from America.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, Bean knows someone who does speak Thai. The embassy's newest recruit, Honorary Consul Michelle Horlock. With no permanent diplomats based in Phuket, Michelle, an expat lawyer, is the local rep now.
The really good news is Michelle, our honorary consul in Phuket, going to take you to police station tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
Seems luck is finally on James's side.
Still enjoy this job very much, but there are times that I just don't look as good as I'm supposed to be. This is the photo from 5 years ago when I first got the job, and look at me now.
Do you want to speak to them again?
Like I'm a train wreck.
Wanting to know what lies ahead is at the heart of every consular case. If only new mum Bianca had a crystal ball. She's frazzled, totally exhausted, and needs to get her sick baby boy home to Brisbane.
You don't mind starting from the beginning and just letting me know what's going on?
Not at all. 2 weeks after we got here, I found out I was pregnant. It was a bit of a shock.
And how pregnant were you?
I was 3 months pregnant.
Bianca had been told she would never have kids due to a pre-existing medical condition. But 3 months into an extended working holiday and, well, you can never say never.
When I went to the hospital, they said, oh yeah, it's 12 weeks, you can start telling everybody. And I fair dinkum almost asked the doctor, is it mine? You know?
Yeah. It's not often that somebody doesn't know they're pregnant and the next minute they're having a baby, so it is an unusual case.
Bianca and her husband were living in this house on this remote island when her waters broke.
I believe it takes about 40-45 minutes just to get to the mainland. I'd hate to be on a boat when my waters broke. It would be terrible. I think I'd be panicking, so how she kept it together, I don't know.
Born 7 weeks premature, it's been touch and go for Aubery ever since.
His lungs weren't formed properly. He had to be in the humidity crib for a couple of weeks breathing oxygen and got pneumonia and, oh, mate, it was just, that first couple of weeks was real sort of like, rough. Oh my God, is he even going to make it?
And baby Aubery's not out of danger. He's still at risk now.
As a mother myself, I know that I would be extremely worried if my child was born under those circumstances. I'd be worried about hygiene. I'd be worried about access to adequate medical facilities.
300 kilometres away on the remote island of Koh Mak, here he is, Aubery, the miracle baby. Husband Paul's looking after him. Bianca's mum Denise has also flown in from Brisbane to help.
When I came here for the first week, and this isn't too bad, Koh Mak, but the water went off for 3 days, and when it did come back, it was really dirty, murky, yellow water. This child needs to get back to Australia where it's more first world, and he can have access to good medical care with his pneumonia, his jaundice, his pustules, his premature weight and all the rest of it. They don't take long to duck dive down into not a good place.
And that's why Bianca needs to get him home to Brisbane. But here's the crunch. Aubery has no passport, which means he can't leave Thailand. And Bianca's visa is about to expire, which means she may be forced to leave. Coming up,
I've never seen my brother cry before.
Yeah.
Chaos in the courthouse as Jake's drug trial blows up.
Just got to the point where he was no longer coherent.
And Gardner Cons missed his flight home.
I've got to cover his taxi fare because he doesn't have the money to pay for it.
And now he wants a loan.
I'm very confident about it that something will come our way.
He appears to be drunk.
Thailand. Another day, another application form. Bianca's back at the embassy to report on how she's progressed with her baby's passport application.
Hi, Bianca.
Hi,
How are you?
How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
It's a big fat zero.
How are you feeling? Confused and a little bit frustrated, to be honest.
She's got a baby brain. She's learning a whole raft of new things, changing nappies, feeding the baby. So this case needs a little bit more of a helping hand.
Being a good mum is Bianca's priority.
The longer I'm away from him, the more it affects both of us. This whole week that I've been away from him now, you know, your milk supply goes down, and then it takes a couple of weeks to build back up. So he gets affected indirectly by all this rigmarole as well. And on top of everything else he's had to go through, that's just another factor that makes me feeling incredibly frustrated.
But there is some good news.
I just asked Thai immigration about your visa.
Yes.
They said you can extend for 1 more month.
Thank you.
We help you.
Bianca can extend her visa for another 4 weeks.
You're welcome.
She can now focus on Aubery's passport dilemma.
The last thing you want to be doing after you've had a baby is filling out paperwork. You know, you want to rest, you want to bond with your child, you've got to get used to learning how to feed your baby, how to change nappies.
It's a mouthful, but here's what Bianca needs to do. Get her and her husband's passports translated from English into Thai and submitted to immigration. Only then will immigration issue Aubery with a birth certificate that confirms he's Australian. It's the only way to get him home.
Where did you get it translated?
A friend of ours did it for us.
Right.
Because he has a business here in Bangkok.
A translation business or?
No. The amount of time that this is taking is a real concern to me because I've got to get back to Aubery.
We might just have to get them redone.
Yeah, and look, honestly, if I can go in there and wait an hour and get it back, I'd prefer to do that.
Okay, won't be a moment.
Kirsten takes charge and finds a translation service just around the corner from the embassy.
We'll be able to get her documents translated and authenticated and sent back to her at home, which saves her another trip to Bangkok, which is fantastic. I can tell she just wants this all to be finished so that she can do the important thing of being a mum.
Hua Hin Courthouse. Today was meant to be a day of resolution for Aussie prisoner Jake. He's on trial after being busted in possession of 26 grams of this stuff, crystal meth. But inside this courthouse, midway through the trial, he collapsed on the floor, writhing in pain.
Just got to the point where he was no longer coherent. For us, we had to pull the plug at that point and say, look, you know, we need to postpone this for another time.
All his family could do was watch in horror.
I've never seen my brother cry before.
Yeah.
So I know he's in excruciating pain when his face was all crumpled,
Yes.
and for him to buckle over like that and cry, I knew something was wrong.
So there's more waiting, and now he's probably got another level of anxiousness that is he going to collapse next time he's in court? Is this ever going to end?
Jake is now under medical care. Finally.
The pain that he's in and the medication he's on, I truly believe that he could end up taking too much medication to stop the pain. And if it does, well, that's it. It's heartbreaking, very heartbreaking to see from what I saw last year before he left Australia, this massive, stocky bloke, and to see him now like a shriveled up little old man.
And it's sad that he's wearing chains on his feet.
Guilty or innocent? Will Jake ever get his big day in court? Comac Island.
Are you hungry?
And Bianca has finally got her and her son's documents translated and submitted to immigration.
I have to go home because I can't cope if something else happens to him. He's only, 2-3 weeks old and he's already, had pneumonia and had problems breathing and had to have antibiotics and been in an oxygen tube in his mouth. Let's have a shot. You gonna have some?
When he gets a bit older and he can run around, maybe come back here then. But just right now, with this little part of his life, I'd like good hospital care and good medical care and available to him.
It's a unanimous family decision. Get Aubery home. Consular Officer Kirsten calls to check in.
I've got some good news for you.
Do you?
Yes, I have Aubery's citizenship papers on my desk as we speak.
It's official. Aubery is an Aussie.
So all you need to do now is come in and apply for the emergency passport and you can go off on your merry way.
I'm kind of going to cry now. Really?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
That's okay. I think she's over the moon. Very happy, very excited.
Coming up, they were robbed while they were sleeping.
The thief came in by jimmying a bathroom window, and I'm basically identityless.
Could it get any worse?
I feel absolutely dreadful to do that to them. However, I've got to tell them.
At the embassy, Bianca and husband Paul have come in to complete the last bit of paperwork to get their baby boy, Aubery, home.
So this is a little one that's caused all this drama.
The family is due to fly to Brisbane tomorrow, but Aubery still has no passport. It's been a long time between smiles for Bianca.
Bianca, sorry, I might have to check an application right now because it's so 4 o'clock now.
It's not technically the job of a diplomat to babysit, but Kirsten's an old hand.
Good work, buddy.
Well done.
Passport Officer Leck helps Bianca to submit the application.
I know I just shoved it all together.
I think he's had his fair share of consular help, so if he comes back when he's 21, whew,
You're on your own.
you'll be in trouble.
In your full name.
But with the turnaround for an emergency passport normally a few days, there's no guarantee that this tiny consular client will be on a plane to Australia tomorrow. The passport section of the embassy has gone into overdrive.
Quite a large number of clients presenting at the embassy today for various reasons, from lost passports to other consular issues.
The Murdochs have joined the queue. Duncan, Vicky and the kids were having an awesome Phuket adventure holiday. But on their final night, they were robbed.
What we think happened was that the thief came in by jimmying a bathroom window and climbing in there, either while we were downstairs or while we were sleeping.
That's creepy enough. But the bag with all their precious belongings, including all 5 of the family's passports, was stolen. Aussie passports can fetch thousands of dollars on the black market.
It feels very scary to be in a foreign country. I mean, I'm basically identityless. I don't have any ID at all.
The Murdochs are miserable.
So 3 of them under 18, right?
Yes. So we're due to fly back to Australia tomorrow night, 10 to 8 p.m. It's now 10 a.m. in the morning, so we're really hoping and praying that they can help us.
They need to get home to Brisbane. The kids are due back at school and Duncan has got to go back to work.
And this one's for the kids.
And if they miss tomorrow's flight, they'll need to fork out more than $5,000 for 5 new air tickets. That's on top of the $1,000 it's going to cost them for their new passports. Val checks in with the family.
I can really sympathise with this family.
Hello guys, how are you?
It's one thing to lose your belongings while you're at home, but it's a totally different story when you are overseas in a different country, away from your support system.
So it's very stressful, I must say.
Yep.
I'm just really hoping that we can get home tomorrow because we've got commitments.
My only concern is, I don't know if our colleague at the counter explained to you that we've got quite a lot of other people that have lost their passports. So,
really,
you know, there's not much of a guarantee. We'll do the best we can, but at this stage, you know, we've got to sort of play it by ear and see how we're going to go getting the passports to you.
Reality bites.
I feel absolutely dreadful to do that to them. However, I've got to tell them.
The Murdochs are stranded. What will tomorrow bring? A new day brings a new dose of anxiety for the Murdochs. Their flight home to Australia leaves in just a few hours. There are no happy faces, not yet.
I've been incredibly worried over the whole thing, I must say. I've tried to hide it, but it's certainly given me a sleepless night.
Behind the scenes, Consular Services has pulled out all stops.
Let's just hope we get them back.
Fingers crossed, we'll know, see?
Yeah.
Val delivers the news.
How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
Nervous? I have fantastic news for you. I've got all your passports. We just worked really, really hard and we got them done.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Literally half an hour ago.
Yeah, we're very grateful. Good.
To see the relief and the happiness on their faces, that is the nice part of my job. It's just a tremendous feeling for me.
But not everyone's celebrating.
Disappointed, very disappointed, because I just wanted to stay here longer, not go back to school.
Oh, well.
Live the good life out here.
Ah, the good life. If only it could last.
Good job.
Boxer James has been flailing about in Phuket without his little Aussie lifeline. He's bracing himself for the worst. He's got his bags packed just in case the police send him to immigration detention.
It's like 120 people per cell. It's just like a really raunch place to be, you know?
Yeah, I'm nervous, but yeah, I've got all the help that I can have.
James is very lucky to have Michelle, our honorary consul in Phuket, to be escorting him to the police station. She knows a lot of people, and she's a lawyer as well.
Thai jails are pretty, average. There's not much good in there.
Canadian-born lawyer Michelle studied in Australia, and as an honorary consul, her job is to help Aussies in trouble.
If I talked to you before, I'd probably say don't wear that shirt or those shorts or the hat.
Yeah.
I would have said, dress a little more sleeve.
I can put a t-shirt on.
Do you have one?
More sleeve, less attitude. It's the Thai way.
Even with Michelle on the case, James could still be in a lot of trouble. This case could go anyway.
Will James get his passport back? Coming up.
We only have 100 Thai baht, which is like $3.
Gardner Cons mucked up his flight.
They said to me, miss your flight and you've got to pay 3,000 baht.
And he needs a loan to get home.
If I don't get that money, I've got nowhere else to go.
Late afternoon, and Bangkok's bureaucratic rollercoaster ride continues. Bianca and partner Paul are anxiously waiting to find out if baby Aubery's passport is ready. They're due to fly out to Brisbane in a matter of hours.
Hello. How are you? Oh, is this safe again? We have his passport.
Oh my God, Kirsten.
Oh my God.
First passport.
Oh, wow. But he was obviously meant to be on this earth. So... All the best. Wish you the best.
Thank you.
Now, I've just got to get you to sign for this, and then you can take Aubery home. And I can sigh a sense of relief to know he's safe and he's home. Okay, now you stay out of trouble. No more trouble from you.
You know what I'm saying.
After weeks of stress and worry, this new family is finally on their way home.
Aubery has no idea of the drama he's caused. He's quite happy snoozing away and burping and doing what babies do.
It's the day we fly out today, and you just made it all happen. I'm so grateful.
Seems cliches do come true. Long days do get longer. Closing time at the embassy. And the luckless Aussie traveller is in dire straits after missing his flight home to Melbourne.
He claimed that he missed his flight, and the airline won 3,000 baht for the ticket to be changed, and he only have 100 baht with him. Well, I said to just get a taxi.
Trouble is, it's 5 p.m. Friday, and the front counter is shut.
The counter closed almost half an hour ago. So now the whole office is open and waiting for this guy.
Waiting for someone who's screwed up his travel plans and is stuck in traffic. Ah, the joys of diplomatic life.
This could be him. Hello, Badikap. So he's at the gate.
Australian embassies all around the world can provide emergency microloans to Aussies in trouble. But is this a genuine emergency? Embassy intern Booker is sent to collect the very late arrival.
I've got to cover his taxi fare because he doesn't have the money to pay for it. And then I'm going to bring him into the embassy, and my colleague B is going to determine if he does qualify for the loan.
That's him with the red suitcase. He's kept B and Booker waiting well past closing time.
How could you have $3 left in your pocket to go to the airport and board a flight?
Con's a gardener from Melbourne. He's missed his flight home, but doesn't yet appreciate how much trouble he's causing. And he seems to have had a few.
In a way, I'm nervous, but having to be here in the Australian Embassy is like feeling, I've got the feeling like I'm at home. You know what I mean?
While Con makes himself at home, he now has to somehow explain himself.
How much money have you got now?
I've got nothing on me. I had 100 baht on me, and now I've got nothing.
I think Con spent all of his money on alcohol because he appears to be drunk.
When I went to check in, they said to me, you missed your flight, and you got to pay 3,000 baht extra for your flight. And
right, okay.
Didn't have the money.
Right.
That's 120 Aussie dollars. There's also the money the embassy paid for his cab fare. Plus, he has to survive for 2 days before his next available flight.
I will come back, think about what we're gonna do for you, so just wait here.
Do you want some boys? The Australian Embassy, nowhere, wherever you are in the world, they won't let you down, I suppose, and that's why I'm very confident about it, that something will come my way.
But the embassy is not a bank, and B is no pushover. Coming up, the unexpected verdict on the Iceman, and James's bitter lesson.
They were laughing at you. They were saying, why did you do that? Don't be scared of us. We're really nice.
In the land of smiles. The embassy, Bangkok, and a broke Aussie gardener from Melbourne has arrived in desperate need of cash.
Only have 100 Thai baht, which is like $3, left in his pocket. So basically he's got next to nothing left.
But B's seen it all before.
What we usually do is we try to push them into contacting family or friends. Then they usually say, oh, you know, I don't have a friend, which is rubbish. Have you got anyone back in Australia?
No, I don't. I've got a brother.
Have you talked to him about this?
No, I don't communicate with my brother anymore.
You don't want to talk to your brother?
No, I don't.
Okay. You never know. We can try your brother. As a Thai person, I'm very amazed that why a family member would not help each other. Let's say if the Thai person, we would look after our family.
Con lays all of his cards on the table, but will it do the trick?
Well, if I don't get that money, I've got nowhere else to go. I've got nowhere to leave. I've got no money for food. I've got no money for nothing.
A no from B now will mean 2 long days on the streets of Bangkok.
Sleeping on the street in Bangkok with 100 baht in your pocket would not be fun.
Finally, after exhausting all alternatives, B provides Con with an emergency loan.
We decided to give you a one-off loan of $150, which is the equivalent of 4,200 Thai baht.
Con has 3 months to repay the loan. After changing his flight and paying back the cab fare, Con will have the equivalent of $25 to survive the weekend.
You've got 3,700 baht left. It's really up to you how you want to spend this money. All right, that's yours.
At least he won't be homeless and hungry on the streets of Bangkok, risking an even bigger problem for the embassy.
Okay, it's 5:45 now, so I'm almost 2 hours over my normal time.
Okay.
Appreciate it. No problem, take care. All right, see ya.
It's goodbye, Con. Hello, James. Honorary Consul Michelle worked her Aussie-Canadian magic.
They were laughing at you. They were saying, why did you do that? Don't be scared of us. We're really nice. And they said they're not going to arrest him. They said no problem.
James is very lucky. He's now overstaying his visa, but because of Michelle, he can just go straight to the court on Monday and pay his overstay fine. Then he can leave on his own ticket without being deported.
Thank you to Michelle.
No worries.
You're the best.
No worries.
After sleeping rough at Bangkok airport, a tired and hungry Con finally made it back to Melbourne.
When I go to Thailand, I go to a bar, have a drink there, and
And he's repaid his debt to the Australian government.
I'd like to tell B that for what he did to me, I'll thank him a lot, and it was a great help for me.
As for Jacob, he eventually got his big day in court, but he changed his plea from not guilty to guilty and was sentenced to 37 years and 6 months jail.
The punishment that Jacob's been given, it punishes everyone. It punishes his family, his parents, his wife. It's not just punishment for Jacob.
And so ends another day in paradise, where even in the darkest of hours, there's something to smile about. Aubery made it home safely and is now snug as a bug in an Aussie rug.